Banana Ball is growing fast, and in 2026, there are so many changes. There's the Banana Ball League coming. There are 6 teams, and it's so much fun. So today we wanted to bring on Brett Loftis, broadcaster for the Texas Tailgaters, to break down everything for us and give us the inside scoop of what we can look forward to in 2026. Welcome to the Banana Breakdown Podcast, your inside look at all things Banana Ball through player interviews and game breakdowns. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon, and I like to go bananas.
I'm Sammy. I'm the life of the party.
And as always, go party animals.
Got a glove and a dream.
What a play by that kid! Oh, it's Brandon! No way! From the Banana Ball Breakdown Podcast. He and his co-host Sammy have been podcasting since the first game of the 2025 World Tour. He catches a foul ball for an out in the final game. Poetic.
You guys are outstanding. You guys are outstanding.
So welcome, Brett Loftis.
Come now, boys. Let's go. Oh, man. I told you guys this just a few moments ago before we started. I've been looking forward to this the entire day, the entire week. This is the third time, I believe. I've been on here with you guys.
If you count the post-game live
Of
stream
course.
in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be three. Yeah.
3.
Yeah. I told an undisclosed broadcast entertainer who may wear some black and pink. Like, I'm going to have a leg up on you here, buddy. Okay, 3 times. 3 times. No, I'm just playing. I didn't tell him that. He's back home in Bologna, Arkansas. But I do appreciate you guys. Having me on today. And as you guys are, and as we all are here in Banana Land, we are so excited for 2026. So if you can't tell by my lovely sweater, I am trying to enjoy the winter time a little bit here. But I am so excited, man, to get 2026 going.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so let's just start there. What are your overall thoughts and feelings going into this next year, this next season?
Yeah, man, I mean, I'm ecstatic, right? I think, for me personally, and then we'll look at the overarching aspect of the inaugural season of the BBCL, but for me, when I came on my test drive in March, the biggest thing I wanted to make sure of was the fact that I was coming to a place that was playing a competitive sport. They were obviously trying to bet me, but I was trying to get all my questions answered as well. And so in saying that, obviously 2025, highly competitive, right? But now we're moving to a place where now we're moving into a league in 2026. We've added 2 new teams, right? We've added a pool of players that I know you guys have talked about a lot with all these newcomers, of guys who are just pro ballers, man. They just straight up know how to play baseball. And you're adding a lot of guys from that aspect. You're also adding a lot of guys and a lot of moving parts from an entertainment standpoint that I think we're going to put on not only the best baseball product that Banana Ball's ever put on, but the best show from an entertainment perspective that Banana Ball's ever put on. I just think that what Jesse's been able to do, and it just all trickles down from the top, man. Like, we have a very, very special year coming. And I tell you boys what, I'm counting down the days for Tallahassee. I really am. That's going to be a special weekend for the brand I get to so humbly represent in the Texas Tailgaters. It's going to be our first football stadium in our second year. So that's just – it's special, man. Like, I can't wait. I cannot wait from the competitive aspect, which I know we're going to talk about, from the 2 new teams, from what those brands both represent, but also the parity that is brought for teams in their inaugural season now that, to be quite transparent with you guys, I don't think necessarily us or the Firefighters really had in their inaugural season. So I'm really looking forward to 2026.
Man, this just gets me so excited for the conversation because I have like 6 different ways to go off of what you just said. But just starting off the year, let's go to Tallahassee first. It's the first time where we're having like an opening weekend of sorts of all 6 teams are playing. There's 3 games, all in Florida, 3 different stadiums, like just all of the craziness of that. Can you break down some of that? And then obviously give your Texas Tailgater spin on it with the football stadium.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know when they're going to put us on a bus to go down there. I want to be down there the whole week. Like, I want to go Thursday, Friday, and then obviously, we play the Banana Saturday. But like, I'm looking forward to being in that environment, man, because it's a place where I think the football stadium holds 66,000 people, whatever it is. They've renovated a bunch, so it's somewhere in the 60,000. I think the most recent was 64 or 66,000. But then you look at the baseball stadium, it's almost going to be like you guys are at the championship game right here in Savannah. Grayson Stadium holds 6,500 people, something like that. And it was almost like Banana Ball prom. right? I was talking to somebody about that today. I was like, it was Banana Ball prom. Like, you know, it was the end of the year, like championship games going on. I got to be there as a fan. Like, it was a lot of people that you'd never met or you hadn't seen. You know, a lot of the visitors were there. Some guys that were trying out to play this year were there, and guys on other teams were there. Like, it was just this big gathering. It was so cool. I feel like Tallahassee's going to be that to start the year off, right? Like, it's going to be this massive group of fans who are, you know, diehard banana fan, diehard party animal fans. You know, they're starting to like us. They're starting to like the firefighters. Oh, wait, there's 2 new brands who are making their debuts in the Local Beach Coconuts and the Indianapolis Clowns. I just think that when they told us that, you know, when they told us before they unveiled to the public, I about fell out of my seat in that meeting. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. First off, I mean, again, selfishly, Tailgaters playing a football stadium. That's going to be sick. You know, that's the first of what I think we're playing in 5 football stadiums the Tailgaters are this year. That's going to be sick within itself. But then the fact that we as a company, we as an organization, we as 6 Banana Ball teams, we as a Banana Ball family, right, are going to get to share 3 A's together in Tallahassee, Florida in February, might I add. I think there's a lot of other places that I would not want to be in February. Tallahassee, Florida would be closer to the top of the list. I expect some really good weather for those 3 games.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely would rather be in Tallahassee, Florida than New York or whatever in February. But yeah, super exciting. Tailgaters are going to be playing in a football stadium for the first time. What kind of goes into that? Are you already prepping for that? How is it different going to be like in your preparation, having them play in a football stadium compared to a baseball stadium?
Well, depending on what I'm doing, whether I'll be obviously Biko and Josh will be in the booth. I don't know if I'll be the third man or be down on the sideline yet. You know, that's kind of TBD. But depending on my role, no matter what it is, I expect to be getting very loud quite a lot that weekend because I expect a lot of dingers, boys. You know, I obviously we seen the party animals and bananas in the 4 football stadiums they played in 2025. Just the onslaught of home runs. I mean, no offense to Jake Skoll. I've said this to him, so he wouldn't take this offensive. He had a pop-up in Clemson and hit a home run. So, like, you know, like we're going to see stuff that we've never seen before. And then we're going to see home runs like Andy Cosgrove and Reese Alexiadis hit, where they're, you know, hitting balls 450 feet in a football stadium. You go, wow. Then Chase Acuff calling a shot in Tampa Bay, right? So from my perspective, a guy I've been talking to a lot about Tallahassee, and it'll be something that I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time on the broadcast about, is Mac Danford. Mac grew up about 45 minutes away from Tallahassee, grew up a massive FSU fan. He's going to have about 50 to 100 of his family there. And, I mean, this is a guy that a lot of milestones, right, in Tailgaters history when it comes to home run. It's the first ever home run in Tailgaters history. It's the first ever home run in a big league stadium in Tailgaters history. So, it's the first ever Tailgaters home run in a football stadium. And I know that would mean a lot to him. I told him I was actually in the cages with Mac D the other day, and I looked at him. I said, Mac, you gonna get you one in Tallahassee? He goes, Bubba, I don't care if I go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Them are gonna be every single swing's a home run swing. I said, what? I looked at him. I said, well, what if it's the right field? Because, you know, Mac's a right-handed hitter. He said, Bubba, I'm going inside out every single time I'm selling out. So, you know, that's a story within itself. Also, you know, the debut of a lot of guys. You know, I went back and I was watching the Houston game today, and I'm seeing Jared Donaldson in yellow, right? I'm seeing Austin Krasvinsky in yellow. I'm seeing Philly in yellow, and then I'm seeing Brett Carson in the blue and orange. And I'm like, man, like this is crazy to think about because this is normal, but me trying to retrain my mind every time I go back and watch tape, I'm like, these guys aren't going to be in these uniforms next year. Pharrell Prime's not going to be in yellow next year, right? And so I think that's going to be neat too to see the different guys, different places that weekend. And yeah, man, that's a lot of the prep. Truthfully, Sammy, is figuring out a lot of these new guys because you did all the draft prep. Now it's like, okay, mentally, I can't associate that guy with that college or that minor league organization now because that guy's a Local Beach Coconut, right? And this, you know, that's going to be his role with that team. So that's been a lot of the prep going into that weekend as well.
That makes sense. And just a quick call out with mentioning Mac Danford. I saw the episode today of Cowboy Carpool with Mac Danford. A little bit of a side tangent. Can you take us into like the bringing Cowboy Carpool onto the Texas Tailgaters YouTube channel? where did that idea come from, and how has it been so far?
Well, I got to show some love to Ian Schrift and Amelia Berg. Amelia runs our social media account. Ian runs, as part of the video team, runs our YouTube channel. And, they're in a relationship together, but they're also like my best friends. So I call them mom and dad. So, it just so happened to work out, when I started here, obviously I was hired to be the voice of the Tailgaters, but getting to work with two such great people. So we like to sit down and, Jesse talks about this publicly all the time about the idea sessions that we have inside our offices. And so we sat down before Thanksgiving, and maybe it was after Thanksgiving. I don't know. It was one of the two. It was late November, early December. And I was like, man, I want to produce something good in the offseason. And we were talking about, different things like the reaction videos that we put out about guys. And then I was like, man, I want a fun way to interview these guys. And Ian said something, and I was like, oh, kind of like carpool karaoke. James Carden or whatever. Ain't that his name? Used to do late night stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all know who I'm talking about. I was like, but I actually want to drive. I was like, I ain't trying to get pulled by nobody. I'm like, I want to drive the truck. I want to drive around and have the guy in there with me. And Ian's like, yeah, we could do that. And I also got to give some credit to the party animals, because Drake Toll did something similar last year in the offseason with some party animals last offseason. So I was like, man, but we got to make it different. You know what I'm saying? Like then my mind kind of went to you guys ever watch Sunday Conversations with Caleb Presley?
I don't think so.
It is okay. Listen, I'm not, for our younger audience, I'm not telling them to watch it. It's not like the most egregious thing of all time, but Caleb will just sit there straight face and ask the goofiest questions of all time. So if you watch some of these, like the other day, I'm like, the Tyler Reagan one, I was like, so Tyler, rumor is your favorite colors are black and pink? Never smile. You can't smile, right? You can't smile. So,
yeah.
Ian and Amelia, man, they're such great people to work with, and help further our brand. And obviously, shout out Drake, man. I got a lot of love for my man Toll, and pulled some inspiration from him too. But yeah, Mac was a fun one to film with. Naturally, any guy that you're really close with as a human being, and it's that I consider a good friend of mine, you're gonna have. It's gonna be a lot easier. But then a guy as goofy as him. Gosh, man, we could have kept the camera rolling for an hour and a half and would have had that much footage. So it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for giving us a little behind the scenes there. It's so cool to hear about all the idea sessions, and you guys are always coming up with new things. Speaking of new things, we've got 2 new teams coming in next year. You had mentioned it a little earlier, seeing guys that used to play for the Bananas Tailgaters now are on either the Indianapolis Clowns or the Local Beach Coconuts. How do you see that adding the 2 new teams? How do you see that changing the league here?
Gosh, fire me up, Sammy. I think it does so much. First off, having 6 teams now you can be a league, like legally can be a league with 6 teams. And I think those 2 brands, man, like we couldn't have rolled them out any better at the City Selection Show. With the Local Beach Coconuts, what they represent, being a beach-themed team, which I think a lot of fans had kind of suspected maybe that they, wanted a beach-themed team. And, that was so cool the way we unveiled them. And then the colors, man, like they just pop, right? The teal and the orange. And it's just like, man, like who doesn't like to go to the beach? Out of a coconut, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's such a great brand. I hope we beat them every time we play them this year, but it's such a good brand. And all jokes aside, man, like Mark Crocco, one of the best people I've ever met in baseball, one of the best people I've ever met in life. He's an awesome skipper. He did a great job with the visitors, and I think they got a heck of a locker room led by that man. And Tanner Allen, we told the story on the draft, how he was in Starkville last year. Drake and I had him in the booth. We stayed in contact with him. Sending Barry Aldridge, which is our director of recruiting's phone number, and then boom, he's their 2nd round pick, right? So, that within itself is awesome. The Clowns, though, man, like the Clowns was the one when we had the unveiling at the City Selection Show, like full transparency here, like peel the curtain back. I had watched it 3 times. I had watched it. We had done a rehearsal day the day before the City Selection Show. I'd sit there and talk to Bob Kendrick for like 30 minutes. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever, because he's a big Braves fan. Hank Aaron was his hero. I grew up a big Braves fan in my household, so like it was so cool to get to sit there and talk to him. But then just get to talk ball with him about the Negro League Museum in Kansas City and just all that stuff. But then we do it live. I never forget this. I'm sitting in the back with Zach Staten and Drake Toll and Sharp. And we're sitting in the back there with Sharp. Man, all three of us was teary-eyed. And we had seen it. Like, this is something like we had seen before. And I look up at Yvonne Trezak, who y'all know I love, I talk about a lot. Yvonne is sobbing. And I'm just like, man, like, this means something to somebody. This means something to people. This is a brand, like, you know, people with the coconuts, like, everybody loves the beach. They can attach themselves to that. Everybody loves tailgates. They can easily attach themselves to that. You know, and same thing with Texas. But with the Clowns, it's like, it's something bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that it's meaningful beyond the diamond. It's meaningful beyond the brand. And that was so cool for me to see. And then, obviously, I hadn't told you guys since the draft, but the JBJ thing was pretty special, too. And going 1.1. I know we didn't know. I don't know if you guys have talked to any broadcasters since the draft. We had no idea. Like, I want to put that out there. I know it's however many, you know, almost 2 months later or whatever. We had zero idea. And I was trying to crack the case up to about 5 minutes before we went on air. And nobody would tell me. And I had in my mind who I thought it was. And then right before, I don't have you guys talked to a broadcaster since the draft?
No,
I
we
don't
haven't.
think so.
Oh, man. Let me tell you guys. So, trying to crack the code. I'm talking to Eric Fox. I'm talking to people in their draft room. I'm talking to whoever. I'm like, I'm going to figure out who's going number one. Like, I went to D3 school, but I got Big J inside of my heart, okay? And so I'm, like, trying to figure it out, whatever. We get on stage, still hadn't figured it out. But we kind of had an idea of who we thought it was. And I went up to Biko and I was like, I don't think ABC, whoever it is, I was like, I don't think he's going to go number one. He's like, I think he is, Brett. He's like, I still think he's going to go. I'm like, all right. So we get up there on stage, you know, put the IFB in, whatever. Start the show, and then Jesse comes up on stage with Coach Fox. And as he's walking up on stage, Yvonne gets in our ear, and Yvonne goes, hey, boys, this is not a drill. This is a real pick, and we want your real reactions. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Obviously, we know this is a real pick. Like, yeah. I wish you could have had the reaction of me when he said that, because I just kind of gave him, like, obviously, it's live TV. Like, what are you talking about, Yvonne? And then he says Jackie Bradley Jr. And, you know, y'all seen all the reaction stuff. Like, oh, that was real. I had probably 5 of my buddies who work in the industry call me on that Friday, the day after the draft. Was like, hey, bro, so, like, you knew, right? Like, you. No. I said, did you not see my jaw hit the ground? Did you not see me gasping for air? No, I didn't know, bro. What are you talking about? But that was cool, man. That was really neat. JBJ is a hero in the state of South Carolina, and hero in Boston, man, and, you know, from Richmond, Virginia, and now getting honored as brand as the Clowns, man. Like, that was special to be a part of. So yeah, Sammy, I'm fired up for those 2 new brands. Very fired up.
So, like, what would you say with Jackie Bradley Jr., like, from your perspective with, like, the players? What do you think that means to, like, a Clowns player coming into it where, like, I'm going to be a teammate with an ex-MLB player?
Well, I think, you know, let's go macro 30,000 level view of it. You get to walk in that locker room, and off rip, you get to be teammates with Jackie Bradley Jr. and Correll Prime, right? Like, that's incredible to think about. Your skipper is Eric Fox, who's been in Banana Land for X amount of many years. You know, was a CPL assistant and then was a first year as a banana ball assistant last year. And you get to walk in that locker room, and you get to go, man, like JBJ, 2-time World Series champion, Major League All-Star, Gold Glove winner. You know, 2-time College World Series champion. Never will have to pay for any kind of beverage ever again in the Palmetto State for as long as he's alive. But then you get to look at Correll Prime, a dude who did everything you could possibly do in affiliated baseball, had a very successful career in independent ball, then comes to Banana Land as a 30-something-year-old, doesn't get on the team right away. Let's play for the Visitors, guys. And then he gets picked up in the yellow, plays with the Bananas for a year and a half. And so I think the coolest thing about the Clowns is their leadership. Like, you walk into that locker room right away, and you don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about – you might have to worry about who you're going to throw here if you're Coach Fox. You might have to worry about who you're going to bat here. But you don't have to worry about who your leaders of that clubhouse are. You got Jackie Bradley Jr. and Correll Prime off rip. But, man, Bobby Leday can play some ball, boys. Let me tell you what. That was a guy I had going personally, I mean, we put out the video on Banana Ball. Like, I thought he was going to go number 1. And I am very, very excited to watch that dude play ball. He can literally do it all. And any guy who can play the shortstop position as well as he can defensively and hit for power, give me that. I love a power hitting shortstop, dude. And he is going to be a fun guy to watch play for them this year.
I love that.
Yeah, so you already mentioned one new player that you're really excited to see. Is there any other players that you're super excited to see, or any under the radar players that you can't wait to see this season?
Yeah, 2 guys really come to mind. Nico Holsizer. I think Nico is a dude. I mean, he was sitting in the 3-hole in Durham in AAA for the Rays. You just don't hit in the 3-hole in AAA just by a happen chance. I think that's a dude that is going to come in and bang, dude. I really, really am excited to watch him. Another guy that's going to fit very well in that lineup. For us, I think Kyle Martin can come in and win MVP next year, straight up. Like, I think Kyle Martin, talking about a dude who had 270-plus home runs across his entire professional baseball career, was a really good ball player at South Carolina. You know, actually came in right after Jackie left and was drafted. He was on the teams. He was there from 12 to 14. So he was right after Jackie in South Carolina. I think, again, Kyle Martin, you know, we're playing at 5 football stadiums, guys. Yeah, he's going to rack up some home runs next year. Chris Clark, guy that went in the first round for us. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. I knew Chris Clark was going to be our first round pick for a while. And I really read up and studied a lot about Chris Clark. And, you know, obviously if he was there at 3, I should preface that. If he was there, we were going to take him. And so I'd put in a lot of research about him. And I'm like, this is a dude. He's 6'7", 240 pounds. And he throws like 93. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's an amazing human. Guys, I gotta pull up and read this, okay? And I hope it's not rude to get on my phone, but I gotta read you guys.
Go for it.
So I texted Chris right after the draft. And I tried to text all the guys, and I texted all 11 of our picks. It was just like, wanted to introduce myself, wanted them to have my number. Chris texted me back, Brett, pleasure to connect with you. I wish the first game was today. Let's get after it this year and win a championship. I was like, fire me up. I'm ready to run through a wall. Give me a uniform. Let me play. Like, that was just like, gosh, dude. I'm excited for him. I think, obviously, local beach man, very excited to watch Tanner Allen play in our sport. You know, good friend of mine. But also Jordan Brewer. I know he's a visitor last year, but will still be a rookie this year. Brew, new father, another guy I talked to a whole lot, and really excited for him. For the party animal, TJ Reeves, who was a party animal for a few games back in 2023. Good buddy of mine named Brendan Bobo played with TJ with the Florence Yalls this year. So I gave Brendan a call after the draft. I was like, Brendan, tell me about my new friend TJ Reeves. Amazing human being, can absolutely bang, Brett. You're gonna love him because he might hurt your feelings a little bit next year wearing that black and pink. I'm like, hey, that's good for me, man. That's good for me. I think the Bananas, it's the guy they took in the first round, Austin Drury. You know, he was what? I forget where I had him in my pitcher rankings. I think I'm second or third. I can't remember, but I know he's in the top 3 of my pre-draft pitcher rankings. And left side, Team USA last year. Okay, you know, he can rip backflips on the mound. Like, he's going to come in and you know, be a frontline starter for the Bananas. So, and then the Firefighters. I mean, gosh, dude, this isn't a new face, but I think he's going to turn into a different dude. Is Armando Becerra. Armando kind of being that, you know, platoon guy with the Animals this year, you know, splitting time with Stoll outright, kind of EHing and DHing whenever, you know, he would be out of the lineup for Stoll defensively or when Andy Cosgrove was catching. And I'm telling you, I talked to the guy tonight before I left the field. A's in really good shape. B, now that he can play every single day, Armando Becerra is going to be scary next year, boys. I'm telling you. He's going to be real scary next year. So, I mean, you got guys – hey, man, there's probably a guy even flying under the radar, Brett Loftis right now. But those are the kind of guys that kind of stick out in my mind. And I'm really excited to watch next year.
Love that.
Yeah, so with this huge influx of new talent coming into the league, we've got – obviously, Jackie Bradley Jr., former MLB player. We've got minor league players, some amazing, College World Series champion Tanner Allen, all this huge influx of talent. How do you see that changing the way that this league goes, like when it comes to trick plays, comes to fan entertainment, fan experience, everything like that? How do you see these guys fitting into Banana Ball?
Well, if the equalizer point is still in play in 2026, then obviously I think guys will have to learn how to do trick play, right? Like I think no matter if you're Jordan Hussein, could do them in his sleep, or you're coming in and you're Tanner Allen and you've never done a trick play in your life, that would be frowned upon playing at Mississippi State, where Ron Polk ran this stern baseball program for all these years. It'd be frowned upon playing in minor league baseball, right? So guys are going to have to learn how to do it. And I think that, you're going to see some fail and refail even then. But I think that's a good thing. I think now you're a great baseball player. Now you got to learn how to play our sport. And I think a lot of the skills will transfer. I don't think Tanner's going to have any issue learning how to do trick play. I mean, you guys had him on here a few weeks ago. You know how good of a human he is, and you know how well he'll be able to adapt. I think while that could be considered a fail if a guy can't learn how to do a trick play, which they will, and Jesse says it all the time, don't be afraid to fail. Continue to do it. I think what is the biggest positive, and will be one of the biggest positives, this is going to be the most talent ever in the history of Banana Ball, guys. I don't think, I wish we could have drove that home more on the draft. I felt like we drove it home a lot. I felt like I could have said it a million more times. This is going to be, it's unreal, the amount of guys we got in. I mean, you could pull up a random guy in the draft who's going to be a first-year Banana Baller next year, and you pull up his baseball reference page, and you go, this guy was the best ball player somewhere where he's played, whether it was his college, whether it was 1 year in minor league ball, whether it was an indie ball, wherever it is. Like, this dude was the best pitcher, best hitter, best defender, whatever. And what that does is that raises the level of competition. And everybody's got these guys now. This is the first year in the history of Banana Ball where the coaching staffs have been able to handpick their teams. All 25 guys on all 6 rosters were handpicked by those coaches. You got your guys. Like, you got them. Go see what you can do with them. And I think everybody kind of has this parity of, you had your 11 franchise guys. So you got 11 guys guaranteed that have played Banana Ball. How do you want to attack the draft? Tailgaters attack heavy pro baseball experience. And, we got some guys with Banana Ball experience. We got Tyler Riggett, who was a firefighter last year. We got Jimmy Lewis and Joe Sperone back. We got Brett Sanchez. We got Donnie Allen back, and guys that were visitors last year. But we attacked real heavy on pro ball experience. Versus you look at the Animals, they said, hey, we'll just run it back. We'll just run it back. TJ Reeves, you played the black and pink in 2023. Yeah, we'll run it back with you. Oh, Mikey Ballard, you played college ball with Chase Acuff and was his best friend and his roommate. Yeah, you're good. You're good with us. So that's just what they did, which, again, Baba won a championship. Why should he switch it up, right? The Bananas, man, like they kind of had a mix of both. Firefighters went heavy Banana Ball experience. Love, by the way, Javon Ray being back next year with them. I think Javon is another guy that you can look for a breakout year in 2026. And then obviously the Coconuts and the Clowns are in precarious situations because it's like you want guys with Banana Ball experience, but you're also trying to build a locker room and build a culture. And also, while doing those two things internally, you're also trying to build and strengthen a brand. So you're trying to bring in guys that understand all three of those things. So I think attacking the draft in that way was very special. But then, guys, all led us back all the way around. It's the most talent we've ever seen, and it's spread out throughout the league, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. Biko had put out a video about a week after the draft and put it eloquently. Tailgaters and Firefighters won, 15 combined games this past year in the regular season? Yeah. And the Bananas and Party Animals had 40-plus wins. I know they played a lot more games, but neither the Tailgaters nor the Firefighters won double-digit games. I think now with all the Banana Ball experience that you have on those two teams coming back, but then when you bring in some dudes who can absolutely just play ball, man, that helps our sport out so much. And I'm fired up because, again, guys, I don't care if it's ping pong. I don't care if it's finding the TV remote. I don't care if it's Banana Ball. I want to win. And I know I'm not the guy out there playing, but I'm the guy that gets to represent these Tailgaters. And I feel very confident that we're going to have a good shot all 61 ball games in 2026 to go out and get a W.
Yeah, no, I think that's like the most impactful thing coming from the draft is that we've been asked multiple times on our live streams, like, who do you think is going to win? I flip flop. I have no idea.
I watched your predictions. I watched your predictions, boys. No, I watched them. Don't you guys worry. I watched them. I kept that in the memory bank. I watched them. I only cried 2 tears, maybe 3. No, we're good. We're good.
Yes, Texas Tailgaters did not hit the list, but I do think that all of the teams are pretty equal, which leads to the point of the best way to see how competition's rising is every team feels equal and the party animals were exactly the same. That tells you everything you need to know is that the other teams have risen, and I think it's going to be a fantastic season to see, and I think you broke it down perfectly.
Yeah, man, I don't think – like, you can't fault Vava for what he did. Like, it's just like, you just won a championship. And not only did you win a championship, you dominated on the way to winning a championship. Like, bro, when we're playing them on our tour, when we're playing them on their tour, it's just like, I told somebody this today. I was like, I love our brand. Our brand is supposed to be like your brother. You're very welcoming, your guy at the tailgate. Play the party animals. Too much little brother energy. Okay? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to next year. We can still be your brother, but let's punch you back in the mouth every so often, But that's just, all jokes aside, that's just a credit to Vava and that coaching staff. Anthony Cormato and, Thomas Semino, like, that's just great coaching staff, great player-led team, right? Like, coaches are great. Sim, excellent hitting coach. Like, you get to sit down there. You guys are there in Frisco when they're taking BP. When you get to see Cormato around a cage, it's like, oh, my gosh. Like, people like going to the opera and talk about how beautiful that is, or people doing ballet. That's my ballet, is listening to Anthony Cormato talk about hitting around the turtle, bro. Like, and getting to see Jake Stoll and Reese Hampton in the same group. Like, I love that. I love ball. So that does something to me. But yeah, there's nothing to change. My mom always told me growing up, boys, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't broke, at least not yet. So hopefully the Tailgaters can break it a little bit this year. But it ain't broke yet. It ain't broke yet. So, but no, I'm so excited about the parity that we have in Banana Ball next year. For sure.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be that parity, and with the new league, a full season for every team, and an equal number of home and away games for every team. How do you see that impacting the standings, having equal number of home and away games?
Hopefully we see some more blue and orange in the stands. I'll tell you that much. I'm fired up about that. We get to play 10 series in the Lone Star State, and then we get to dabble across state lines and play 2 series in Oklahoma, which I'm fired up about. I think it's great. It allows us – think about this, guys. We are going to touch, 45 different states next year? What? As a sport, we get to go to 45 different states. And you have the Tailgaters who are associating, or we're associated to Texas, right? The Bananas are nationwide. The party animals. You go to anywhere where you party, bro. People party all over the country. The Coconuts, playing their home game. You got beaches coast to coast, right? The Clowns, getting to stay central to Indianapolis. But again, they traveled around the country. The Clowns are a traveling team. The Firefighters, still got that connection to the DMV area. But again, everybody knows a firefighter who has meant something to them in their life across our country. So I say that to say, when we get to go to these places now, we're getting to go and make an impact on the places we're getting to play, but we're getting to touch so many different places next year, boys. Like, I just – that fires me up, man. Like, it's exciting for me to know that we get to go to Texas so much, but then we get to go play the Indianapolis Clowns in Spartanburg, South Carolina, in a ballpark that I was born 3 miles from, right? Like, and then we get to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is literally right next door to Bank of America Stadium, where I've grown up since before I knew how to not pee on myself before I was potty trained watching the Carolina Panthers play, right? And then we get to go and play in Chapel Hill with my great aunt, who, very elderly lady who loves every single thing that I do on Facebook, biggest Texas Tailgaters fan, is finally going to get to come to a game, right? But then we get to go to Syracuse, New York, and then we get to go to Sacramento, California, and then we get to go, oh gosh, it's going to be chaos when we go to Boise, Idaho. You got a blue football field, and you got Drake Cohen, Brett Loftis in the booth. What? Who allowed that to happen? it's just like, I mean, and I'm just talking about our tour. I haven't even talked about the animals and the Bananas going and playing in the Superdome. Haven't talked about the party animals, having their first ever 2 major league stadiums and the Bananas not being there. Like, it's just so special, man. Like, it can kind of get you emotional sometimes when you look and you're like, man, I'm so excited about what our brand gets to accomplish in 2026, but what our sport gets to accomplish. I joke around and obviously I'm always pulling for the tailgate, right? But I'm the biggest fan of Banana Ball and what our sport gets to do and the people in our sport and the brands in our sport. And next year, it's going to be a special year. And I can't wait. And I'm just so happy that I'm blessed and lucky enough to be a part of this.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be a great year next year. Touching on one of the things you talked about there with the broadcast booth, like we've seen a little bit of that where this past year we saw Party Animals, Drake Toll, and you for the Texas Tailgaters in the booth together. Is that something we can expect going forward? Is that's the typical thing, is that we're seeing someone designated for each team in the booth so that the fans of that team can hear their consistent voice?
I don't want to solidify and say that yet, but I think that's kind of where we're going. It's funny to me. It's such a cool thing. And Drake and I, over some steaks that he likes to cook for me at his home, we talk about this a lot. Biko and Josh, right? They're synonymous, not only with the Bananas, but with the sport and with each other, right? Like, you can't have one without the other now, right? In a lot of people's minds, like, you got Biko and Josh. And, Drake and I we were eating dinner one night, and I looked at him, man, I just said, thank you. And he was like, what? It's like, thank you for what? He's like, the steak, you helped pay for it. I was like, no, Drake, no. I said, thank you, man. Because, like, he fought for me to be in the booth this year. He wanted me to be in the booth. He said he's seen so much value in me potentially being in the booth. Truthfully, boys, I didn't think it would work. Knowing Drake's style, knowing my style, I was just like, man, like, I don't know if it'll work. I remember thinking that, and I didn't really voice that to anybody externally, but I was just like, man, like, I'm going to try it. Like, I'm not going to go in there with the mindset of this is going to fail, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it is, And then we go to Lehigh Valley, and it was just match made in heaven. And, as much as we played the Animals this year, I got to spend a lot of time around Drake. We got to spend a lot of time in the booth together. And, I'm glad I was wrong. I'm so glad I was wrong. And I'm so glad that Drake fought for that decision to be made and for me to be in the booth with him, because I think the question that you guys are asking, I think, Biko becoming synonymous with Josh, and then Drake and I got it sitting over here somewhere. Somebody gave me this year, boys. Let me find this here. Hold up. Let me dig it out here. So I had a lady come up to me. This is when you start to realize of, like, man, like, me and Drake Toll are inseparable at this point, even though we technically have to be next year. Lady comes up to me, gives me a gift bag. She gives me that, which I thought was so cool. Just says, later out, tailgaters on it. She goes, oh, there's another one in there. There's another one in there. I said, okay, look at that.
Hey, there we go.
I was like, dude, giving me a Nissan Maxima coaster, which I use, by the way. I do use it. And I'm just like, it's just, I think when you can put two people up there, again, Drake and I have a good relationship outside of the booth too. So, we get along together as human beings. But as does all of us, really. As does Zach and I, as does Josh and I. I think that translated on air when we were in Houston together. As does Biko with literally any human being he's ever come in contact with. He's just that type of person. I would be willing to. I'm not going to give you guys a solidified answer yet, but I'd be willing to say that's kind of where we're headed for 2026. And I think you can give a lot of credit to that. Obviously, you can give a lot of credit to a lot of things. To Biko and Josh, but I think a lot of credit goes to Drake Toll, Yvonne Trezak, obviously Jesse for backing that decision, and Josh Richardson, man, got to give him some love too. He's our new executive producer at BTV, and he's doing a heck of a job this offseason. A lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes right now that's going to come to fruition next year, and I think that's kind of where we're going. So I'm very excited, very excited.
Love that.
Yeah, that's something that I love about watching the Banana Ball broadcasts is the you guys, the play-by-play guys, the broadcasters are basically like the radio guys of whatever team, right? Like I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but like every epic play in any sport is always better when you pair it with whatever that team's radio call, right? You know, that they're not afraid to be a homer. They're excited about the play, and so that makes the play itself more exciting instead of just an impartial observer explaining what's going on. And so I think that Banana Ball broadcasts are so exciting because you have you guys that are connected to the brands of the teams. And so when Jake Skoll hits a home run, Drake is excited about it because yeah, he's a play-by-play guy, but he's a party animal, you know, and so it's connected there, and that's just something that I love about the broadcasts.
Yeah, it's funny, guys. I went to a small D3 school and was a play-by-play guy there all 3 years. Most homer guy ever, right? Like that was my thing. I was pulling for Piedmont. In fact, a couple guys who work for Fox Sports, they do a podcast about D3 baseball. This was my second year at Piedmont, and this podcast got a lot of clicks because these are national writers for Major League Baseball, Fox Sports, but they also just love D3 baseball. And so somebody sent me a clip. They're like, "Hey, Brett, you need to listen to this." And they were on there, and they were talking about we played like a 14-inning game. I had a call that went semi-viral. They were watching the game. It was the only D3 baseball game going on in America, and they had tweeted out some things and said some things. They were like, "This guy should just put on the hat and the shirt at this point." Ironically enough, I was wearing a Piedmont baseball hat and a Piedmont shirt on the broadcast. And then they actually had me on the podcast next year, and good friends, honestly mentors of mine now. So that to say, then went and worked in the Northwoods League, did radio up there, and very homer. Then I got hired by a network in North Dakota where you're completely impartial. And like you're not partial to anybody. You're covering these student athletes and or some case we did professional volleyball. They're professional athletes where you're not partial to one side or the other. You don't care who wins. You hope for a good game because you want it to be entertaining, but you don't care who wins. And then you come here, and I feel like I'm able to use all of my former lives, as I call it in broadcasting, here, because while I am representing this brand, and Sammy, you're so correct, while I am excited when Taj Porter hits one off the Jumbotron, I'm also, if I'm doing play-by-play, I'm equally excited if KJ hits one off the Jumbotron, right? I'm pulling for the Tailgaters. I'm pulling for the Tailgaters. But if Jake Skoll hits one 517 feet, I'm still going to get excited for it, right? And I think that's the beauty of this down here, because you're pulling for the sport. Yeah, I mean, I want the Tailgaters to go 61-0 and win the BBCL next year, obviously. But I'm pulling for our sport. And I think the funny thing down here is like, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. I mean, there's plenty of times, boys, where this happened this year. I'd be on the bus, and Skoll and Hampton would turn around and look at me and go, "All right, Brett, we're gonna go watch the broadcast tonight. We're gonna let you know what we think tomorrow." All right, let me know what you think. They come back next day. Skoll would be like, "You told that story that I told you at the cage yesterday." I was like, "Is that cool?" "Yeah, no, it was great." I'm like, "Skoll, why you look at me like that, man? You look at me like that, man." So it's just stuff like that, developing relationships with guys. You never want to burn those. While those guys know what brand you're representing, and like you said, pulling for your team, you also know these are your coworkers. It's a lot different than a lot of other places because, I'm pulling for the Tailgaters, but if Noah Fisher goes up there and goes yard, I want it to sound good. You know why? Noah Fisher's going to go watch that after the game. Noah Fisher's mom and dad is watching that right now. Noah Fisher's girlfriend is watching that right now. Noah Fisher's boys from college is watching that right now. His second cousin, who's 7 years old, who doesn't know anything about anything except that's my big cousin, is watching this right now. You got to think about all those things. When Ryan Cox makes an unreal trick play, his mom and dad's watching that. His girlfriend's watching that. His family back in Pittsburgh's watching that. So those are the things you got to think about. So while we are biased, like you said, we are also pulling for the sport, and it's a big responsibility that you have as well, because you got to be the mouthpiece of the sport when you're in those games.
I love that. Yeah, I think you guys are doing a great job, and I love the different vibe in Banana Ball. Transitioning a little bit with next season. So first season of the league. So we don't know all the details yet, but we've heard there's the Banana Ball Open happening in the beginning of the season with a playoff spot. then there's obviously, we had the playoffs this year, but this matters more with it being a league. Like any way you want to take that, like what is your excitement coming into it with the league and having official standings, having all the playoffs, all that fun stuff?
Oh, very excited. I think when you can establish a playoff berth early in the year, that does so much. Man, that does so much. You know, you're already hearing I'm already hearing different coaches saying, you know, we're going to go all in. We're trying to get that playoff spot at the Banana Bowl Open. Like we're trying to get that. So then we can rest our arms from April to Kingdom Come until it's time to go win a championship. Then, you know, you hear other coaches say like, oh no, like we're going to ramp guys up regularly. Like, yeah, if we win the Banana Bowl Open, great. Ooh, we get a playoff spot. Well, we want to be at our very best in October. And we want to be playing our hottest ball in October, whatever that looks like, however we can get there. It's December, guys, and you're already hearing these conversations go on. So I'm very excited about what that looks like, because in the Northwoods League, it was the same thing when I was up there. Minor League Baseball uses a similar structure in some of its leagues. You look at Major League Baseball in the lockout season of 1980, you win the first half, you make the playoffs. And now, you know, winning the Banana Bowl Open puts you in the playoffs. I think that incentivizes so much in the early season, because now it's not like you're playing 11 spring training games. It's like, no, we gotta play well enough in these 11 games to even be in the top 4, to then even have a shot to go in the Banana Bowl Open, which puts us in the playoffs. So I think that competition, man, you've seen it last year. Like, guys care. But now, when you got all of this on the line, like it's gonna get very, very competitive. I mean, I don't know how much you guys talked about it. You've seen Skull and Heisley last year. You know, you've seen those guys and their competitive fire that they had with each other. You've seen John Reed, man, when he would come off the mound a couple times. You know, you watch Ben Dom and the stoicness in which he plays the game with. I think that's going to be exemplified times 10 this year, and I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the Banana Bowl Open because it just adds more stakes to the beginning of the season. It's kind of funny with the NBA Cup is a new thing, and it's like it's this in-season tournament, but it doesn't mean anything. Like that, it's just like a cash prize, right? Like why should I care about the NBA Cup? But so I love that the Banana Bowl Open actually, you know, there's stakes to it, and there's, you know, a playoff spot is on the line for this.
If you want me to get on my soapbox,
yes, we
could talk about the NBA Cup. I think it is the silliest thing ever, because the Knicks won it. They won. I mean, it's great for those guys. I read like a guy on a 2-way contract basically doubled his salary with the Knicks winning that. Great for you, young man. Get it back. It means nothing. It means nothing to me, the fan. I didn't make an extra $500,000 because the Knicks won the NBA Cup. Like, it means nothing to me. Nothing, guys. You know how much NBA basketball I watch?
How much?
None. When they start playing defense in the playoffs. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. But I get on my soapbox about that. I was in sports talk for a little bit. I had a lot of segments about that. But, yeah, again, contrary, like you said, to the NBA Cup, the Banana Bowl Open means something. Like, you're putting a team in the playoff. There's only 4 spots. 3 left after that, right? And you're gonna have 3 or 5 teams vying for 3 spots at that point. So it means something. It's incentivizing that. The NBA Cup, good, great guys. You got a pretty trophy and you're gonna hang a banner for something that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Gosh. Anyway.
No, I love the comparison, because it shows why this is going to be so great with the Banana Bowl Open, and just seeing everything. Like, there's just so much to be excited about with Banana Ball. And again, I didn't fully connect that it was only 11 games leading up to it. Like, what an amazing way to start the season. Like, from game one matters all the way up through the Banana Bowl Open. And then, you know, hey, Coconuts came out. They took the Open. Okay. They're stuck. Now there's 3 spots left. Like,
how special would that be? How special? Listen, guys, let me don't cover up the tailgater on my chest. How special would that be if the Clowns or the Coconuts win the Open? Like that would
That'd
be
be awesome.
oh, it'd be so sick. I mean, obviously I hope it's us. But I'm just saying, like it would be so sick if one of the two new brands comes out and wins something that's brand new. Like, guys, it's so great for our sport. I'm sorry. That gets me fired up, boys. That's something to me. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Totally agree. Anything else?
I think we just wrap it up here.
Cool.
No, let's not wrap it up, Sammy. I want to know when you're going to put on your blue banana breakdown shirt. I went on you guys' website the other night. I seen that you're selling them now. Shameless plug for the boys, even though they didn't ask me to do that. Okay. I want to know when you're going to start wearing that blue banana breakdown shirt.
I'll wear it because it's not yellow. I will never wear the yellow shirt. So yeah.
What is wrong with the yellow, Sammy? What is wrong with the yellow?
I just can't do it. It makes me just a little nauseous thinking about it.
Brandon, one thing for you. I want to know how you're dealing. Have you fully recovered from the bananas in the Dalton Cornette home run in the playoffs?
He hasn't been the same since. No. He's just been just a shell of.
Before you answer, I've watched you guys' reaction to that home run at least 27 times. Not a joke. Not a joke. I go to YouTube Shorts. I pull that up if I'm having a bad day. The jubilation that comes across Sammy's face, and he's in this happiness of shock. I'm like, if I could bottle that up and just drink that from time to time, and then it takes you like what, a good 12 seconds, and then you're just like, oh, that ends the game, and I'm just like, I'm just Have you?
I will show. We can send you the full video. It's literally like from that moment. We were doing a live stream right after, so like literally from that moment to the live stream for like 10 minutes, I'm just like, I don't want to do this live stream. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, I have to go on here and talk about this, and I just witnessed them lose. Like, so for me, I am a Bananas fan first. That is like I feel like I'm very akin to where you're at. And then I'm also like, I'm so excited for everything Banana Ball. When the Party Animals won that first live stream, I put on a Party Animals jersey. Like I'm all for all the teams, and I will be Bananas number one. Very similar to the way that you handle it with the Tailgaters.
100%. Hey, I will tell you guys this: we had the opportunity, so we get like this Evo Shield. You know, obviously we have a brand deal as an organization with Evo Shield, so we get this Evo Shield team store, right? And so we can get on there and buy team gear from any of the 6 teams. So I get on there, got a bunch of Tailgater stuff in the cart, and I'm like, okay, obviously I'm gonna buy all this stuff. And then I look at the Clowns and the Coconut stuff, and I say, looks good. And then in my mind, it was like you guys watched That's So Raven growing up?
Yeah.
That's So Raven, where she like gets the vision and it like goes in on her eye because she can see the future. I could see the future of me having on a Loco Beach Coconut hoodie, and I look across the way, and here walks Jordan Hussein, Taj Porter, and Jimmy Lewis, and they just bully me for an hour and a half. So I was like, maybe not. Maybe so. No, I got to be loyal to. I'm not wearing anything that doesn't have the Tailgaters on it. But, that's dude. I'm telling you what, Brandon. That was. I wish that video would go viral for you guys. Like that it's a single. Like if I had a Spotify Wrapped, but for YouTube, that would be the most viewed. That would be the most viewed short for me this year. Like I've watched that video so many times.
It is one of our most viewed Instagram reels. That's for sure. So, okay, background with Brandon. So this was funny, super funny for me to see how mad that he actually got, because he was actually upset about the outcome of the game. Before Banana Ball, Brandon has never been like super into like watching sports.
Really?
Love playing sports. I will play sports all day. Getting me to sit down and watch sports that's not playoffs, no chance.
So this is the first time I'd ever seen him upset. He's seen me vent about my sports teams all the time.
Which are whom, by the way?
Well, it's mainly BYU is my favorite team. So like BYU football, BYU basketball is what I watch.
Good year. Hey, they had a good year.
Yeah. Pop-Tarts Bowl. You know, it'll be a fun bowl game.
The mindset. So Count your blessings. Count your blessings over there, Sammy.
He's hitting his stride right now, so I'm pretty stoked about basketball season. But anyway, so he's seen me upset plenty of times, and this is just the first time I'd ever seen him upset about a sporting event, and that just made it even funnier for me, honestly.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Two things here. One, I could not have done a live stream after the Tailgaters lost to the Party Animals in the playoffs. Like I was distraught, boys. I was like, man, because I knew, we hadn't announced it yet, but I knew the draft was coming, and I knew the overhaul, like that was going to be the only year of that team.
Oh, yeah.
So that like tore me up a little bit, and I was like, man, like there's going to be some guys that unfortunately probably won't be here next year, or they'll be in a different uniform or whatever. So that the emotional part of that got me a little bit, but also just the fact of like, it's no different than a fan, right? When your favorite team season ends, like you're distraught. It just so happened this favorite team I spent my whole life pouring into for 5 months, right?
Yeah.
However, the thing is, I don't know how you do it, Brandon. My whole life, like I make jokes all the time. I'm like, from the months of September to January, the Carolina Panthers and Georgia football decides my mental health. And then from March to September, the Atlanta Braves last year, I had to stop watching them. My whole life, man, like sports have played a big role in the emotional roller coasters of life. Like I remember when the Braves won the World Series in 21. I called my dad. I was in college. We were crying on the phone. Like that's how much it meant. So. I mean, Sammy, you can relate to that. But Brandon, I say all that to say, I love that banana ball is like the sport that has you.
The only sport I watch. I
Yeah.
watch pretty much every single game. Like the only time is when it's like 2 on the same night. It's like I'm trying to watch as much as I can, but like like literally nothing else unless it's playoffs and I happen to be somewhere where it's on.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'll watch.
So when that happened, I was like, Brandon finally understands what it feels like. Like my whole life, I had to deal with some really mediocre sporting seasons my whole life, and
Hill, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, mark me up, huh?
But back to what you said. This past season, when BYU made the Sweet 16, they beat Wisconsin barely in March Madness. I cried after that. I was like, finally. For the first time since I was 12 years old, they were going to the Sweet 16. It's cool out. Yeah. And of course, when the Party Animals won, that was a really special moment too.
We don't have to talk about that. That's fine. I got something. Jordan Watson, who's our show caller, our director of entertainment for the Tailgaters, BYU grad, yesterday at work. She has on a Cougars hat. I take a picture of this, send this to Drake Toll. Right here. I don't know. Hold up. Why is it getting blue? Hold up. There we go.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at that, Sammy.
I love it.
Wallpaper right there. That's it. That's the wallpaper.
Yeah.
That's it. No, I get to hear enough about BYU from Drake Toll in the office. He loves him some Cougars, man. I do want to go to Provo, though. I will tell you that. I want to go to Provo. I want to go to a baseball game in particular at Provo. Like
I used to work there. Yeah.
Oh, is it as beautiful as it looks in the pictures?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when it snows, man, like it's just it's amazing. I love Miller Park, and it's the baseball and softball fields right next to each other. So like they play games at the same time. So baseball will be playing and softball will be playing on either side of the facility, and so you get a ticket and you can just walk back and forth between the concourse that shares it, and you can watch both games. It's just an awesome.
Heaven
game.
might be far away, but Provo, Utah isn't. I got to get out there, boys. I really do. Yeah, it sounds like a beautiful place. But I'm happy that you know what heartbreak feels like. I am, and hopefully you get to relive that this year when the Party Animals lose to the Texas Tailgaters in the 2026 BBCL championship game. I really hope so.
Oh yeah, I would cry. Sad tears.
Okay, don't tell me that. You know what? If that's the case, I'll if you're at the game, I'll just bring them to you. But if not, I'll FedEx overnight you a box of Kleenexes.
Hey, that's our goal. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but we'd love to be there. I'd love to catch a foul ball for a Texas Tailgater. Get him the win.
Let me leave you with this. Today, Garrett Lampert, Rhinestone, our in-game host, who I love to death. We had a meeting, hour-and-a-half meeting, working out all the details of our show next year. Our stage show outside the plaza, and then in venue the pregame show. And I told him, I said, "Hey man, guess who I get to talk to tonight?" I was like, "I'm gonna be on my banana breakdown tonight." He's like, "No way." He goes, "You gotta ask them if they remember how close I was when they caught the foul ball." I said, "Garrett, you almost saved their lives." And then the glove just came out of nowhere. And it was like, wow, what happened there? But yeah, Garrett, that's something I know I shared it that night, but what I didn't share was me and Jordan Brewer are standing there because I'm just in street clothes, 15 feet behind you guys. And Garrett is talking to somebody like 2 feet away from you guys. And then
He was
Brandon,
talking to us.
Yeah.
He was talking to
I was
us.
talking to
He was
Garrett.
talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And then you just save his life. Absolutely save his life. And then he turns around and walks to me. He goes, I said, "Bro, he saved your life." He goes, "But he caught the ball." He caught the ball. Oh, man. And then Brewer looks at me. And I was like, "You ready for some more of that next year?" He's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah." So, no, man, that was if the most viewed video has been your reaction after the championship game, the second viewed video has been you catching that foul ball. I watch it at least once a week. I really do. Like that's such an important historical archive in the history of our sport. And I can't wait for you guys as kids to get older because that should be playing on replay every single year of their birthday parties. Like they should get so upset at you guys at Christmas and their birthday parties every year. Like when they turn 16 and they bring home, their boyfriend or girlfriend, you should have that playing on the TV. You should have that playing. You should say, "You know what I did at the inaugural championship game in the history of banana ball? I caught a foul ball, not just any foul ball, a foul ball that was an out. And then I was interviewed on national television. You see this little Susie? You see whose house you're in right now?" I'm so serious, man. It was great. All-time moment, dude. All-time moment.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was fantastic. And yeah, Garrett Lambert. I was literally complaining about the fact that there hadn't been any foul balls in the vicinity. And then literally like I finished that sentence and I hear the crack of the bat turn and it's like, there it is. Let's go.
I mean, I know it's in the intro. That can never not be in you guys' intro. Ever can never not be in that.
Well, with the Biko and Josh call for sure. Like that just chef's kiss. Like
funniest part is I asked him about it because Biko at first he says whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, that's the banana breakdown, guys." Biko said he looked down, looked back up, looked at the monitor, and that's when it clicked. And that was the funniest part of the whole thing was asking him about it after the game. So yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, that I still cannot believe that. Like, what are the odds of that happening? That call was perfect, and then for the graphics crew, like shout out to them to quickly create a graphic with Brandon and Banana Breakdown podcast on there, and it's like, what the heck? This is going on national television, and just it was crazy.
Man, our BTV.
I got to hold Brandon's bag while he ran up. I made
that's
sure
a
no
true
one.
hero. That's a true hero. Don't let anybody steal that valor from you, Sammy. That's
I know.
true hero stuff right there. But no, our BTV crew, man. I mean, they're a special group. And hey, this isn't like we're hiring from, at least last year, right? Like we just had a bunch of people who wanted to work hard and figured out TV, and we did a really good job of it. And so proud of those guys and gals and in the truck and on site running cameras and so many talented people and so many more talented people. We're also adding, like we talk about all the players, guys. We could do a 4-hour podcast about the people we're adding behind the scenes on the BTV side of things this year that I'm really fired up about. So whole organization as a whole, is improving and raising that level, man. Holding the highest upholding the highest standard, which is just such a great thing.
For sure. Well, we're really looking forward to 2026, and we appreciate you breaking it down. There's a lot of amazing stuff that it seems like is coming in Banana Ball, but any closing thoughts for everyone as we go into 2026?
I always tell you guys, I'm open to being on here anytime. If you guys want to do another one again tomorrow, just let me know. But as always, I always appreciate you guys for having me, man. I got to give you guys this. This a little bit before, but what you guys have done for our sport can't be understated. We don't have like an official podcast with Fans First Entertainment or Banana Ball. And for you guys to just be two random dudes who love the sport, started this as a passion project, and what you guys have done with SI and the digital stuff as well, it's awesome. We talk about this all the time. Like what you guys do for our sport is really awesome. Everybody in the front office thinks it's cool. Obviously, you got Jesse in your intro telling you guys what he thinks about it, man in yellow tux. So I just can't understate that, and I hope that everybody that you have on here understands and appreciates what you guys do for us. And it truly, and again, I know I joke around a lot, but it means so much to me and to everybody what you guys do for our sport and for our organization. But yeah, furthermore, yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026, boys. Like, it's going to be a positive heel turn. Is that a real quote? Can I say that? It's going to be, it's things are going to, again, same thing I said at the top of the show. Best entertainment you've ever seen, best on-field product you've ever seen. And I think, I'm confident to say we're going to help put together the best broadcast that you've ever seen. And I'm very excited about, all of those things coming together in Tallahassee. And if this past championship game was Banana Ball Prom, this might be Banana Ball Homecoming in Tallahassee. So getting to see all that kick off down there with all 6 teams playing. So it's going to be special. It's going to be real special. Hopefully see you guys at more than – let's see you guys at 2 games this year. Hopefully see you more than just 2 games this year. So
yeah, we'll try our best. We hope to see you around too. So
bring the families. I want to meet your families. Okay, listen, guys. I didn't grow up with a big family, so by default, whether you like it or not, okay, you get to meet me. You get to be your friend. You have a family. Your family's my family. I got to meet the family. Bring the family around. I want them to enjoy Banana Ball as well. I really do.
Awesome. We will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Gator up.
Whoa.
Fucking, that's the second best Gator up of all time. Only second when Mr. Beast contestant said it on the field in Pittsburgh. I mean, again, that got like 400 million views. But Sammy, second best to that. I mean, come on. Okay, third best. I lied. D.R. Meadows said it when he was mic'd up one time, too. Third best. I give you that. Third best. Gator up, Sammy. Gator up.
Let's go. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll see you in 2026.
This podcast is a proud part of Deseret Noise Company.